know there's no one watching right now, but since this video will be on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and start talking because it's weird if I'm just here doing nothing. This whole thing is a little weird. All right, we're now live.
Well, think of it as that you're recording all, so the game will be on YouTube.
Exactly. It's not weird at all for me to be talking to no one.
You should have like a signature hello.
I should do that. Is it working? Oh, there we go. Okay. My thing didn't update automatically, so I couldn't tell whether I was live or not. But I'm totally live, so welcome our vast audience of viewers. Ray says I need a signature hello. I'll need to work on that. So, what?
I was looking to see if you're.
Yes, there I am. We're live. Hooray.
Able to connect to the internet.
All right, so if you were watching last week, we were working on getting out a new update, which we did. So we released update 25, which added the new rescue dungeon. So that was pretty cool. So now we're going to be working on a couple of things. Update 26, we're going to finish off the rogue class. We've just got a few things left to do on that. And then add a bunch of new monsters. So that's probably what I'm going to work on for a little bit here, is add some of our new monsters to the game. Some of them were in the game before, but they just need some tuning because they haven't been in the game in a really long time. So I'm going to start with the ones that I know are basically done, and they might just need some tweaks, like the meandering shrub. So let me see how he is. So these are how we keep track of all of the unlocks. Basically, there's a monster a list of monsters, and then the number of points the player has in order to unlock that monster. So these guys have been in the game for a while, but they've never been unlockable until now. So I'm just going to go ahead and add these guys in. The points for unlocking are completely kind of arbitrary right now. We know that we need some tweaking on this to spread out the unlocks a little more. Because right now, based on our analytics, people are scoring about 7,000 to 8,000 points per game, which means they're unlocking about 2 or 3 monsters per game, which is probably too much. It's probably accelerates that too quickly. Okay, so now I've got those 4 guys. So now they'll start showing up in the game. So now I need to see what all they do. If you watched last week, I talked a lot about switching over to from MonoDevelop to Visual Studio with ReSharper. So as I run across old classes that I wrote in MonoDevelop, I'm reformatting the code using ReSharper. Visual Studio formats the code, but the one in ReSharper actually does a bunch of other stuff in terms of code style. So I'm using that. All right, so let me look at what meandering shrubs do. Meandering shrubs, when they're attacked, have a chance to basically spawn what we call a sapling, which is a smaller version of the monster itself. And then that thing, the sapling, grows every turn to be the same level as the thing that was killed. So if you're fighting a level 7 sapling, it'll spawn as a level 1, and then the next turn it'll go to level 2, and then level 3, and then level 4, until it's level 7. So the idea with the saplings is, once they're spawned, you want to kill them off as soon as possible. So this little green squiggly line here is a ReSharper telling me that code can be made better. And one of the things it tries to do is like an if block like this, rather than having a bunch of code in an if block, it tries to suggest that you do something like that, which basically it's a short circuit code block. So it knows that all of the rest of this code will only be executed if these things are not met. And it just helps the code, it reduces code complexity. Hey, we got 7 people watching. Everyone should say hello over in chat, except everyone's anonymous, so I don't know who you are. All right. So, actually, this guy looks pretty good. I may not need to do anything to the Meandering Shrub to get him in the game. The one thing I may want to do is that right now, any attack that can happen to a Meandering Shrub can cause him to spawn saplings. I'm not sure if that's right. What do you think? Should any attack, or should it only be like bladed attacks that could like chop off bits of tree? Or should it just be anything?
Bladed attacks, right? Or
Rogue has stabby attacks. Warrior has stabby attacks. So yeah, basically the wizard would not ever invoke any of the Meandering Shrub's attacks. So I guess it should be anything.
I think it should be anything.
It's been a long time since the shrubs have been in the game, and I remember them being super obnoxious. Turn down this audio a little bit. Let's make a level 1 shrub to fight and see how it behaves. Oh, that's funny. I should probably fix that. So it attacked me and I have spikes, and the spike counterattack caused a shrub to spawn.
Oh,
So clearly that part works. And there's a check in here to make sure that saplings don't spawn more saplings. So you don't end up in an infinite loop of saplings. Okay. So I need to fix the bit where if I have spikes, it caused a sapling to spawn, because that doesn't make any sense. So I need to look at how that works. I can probably say any damage from status that are caused by status effects should not cause a sapling to spawn. So I'll do that. I think that looks pretty good. Let me just test that real quick, and I don't need to. I was going to say I don't need to test it, but I probably should, because every time I say I don't need to test something, that thing breaks. Overconfident programmers. It's terrible. You should never be overconfident as a programmer, because most of the time your stuff's going to break. What's that?
Gatorade.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever drank Gatorade out of a glass.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Okay. That looks good. If this is your first time watching us, this is Trello. We use Trello to track all of our tasks for the game, basically all the work that we need to get done. So we have a bunch of different lists in Trello, and we move them back and forth. So there's things in here for things to do, things to think about, things to polish and balance. Basically, as we get ideas that could make the game better but don't really add any features, we put it in the polish and balance. And our plan is to basically get the game to feature complete first, and then spend a little bit of time going through all the polish stuff and the balance stuff, and making sure that the game has polish and balance. I know that's silly. So this is how we keep track of all of our work. All right, I know the blob is another monster that we did before. So let me see how he looks. Sorry, I'm just reading this over and making sure I understand how it works. So blobs split unless they were attacked with fire. It's been a long time. Cards used to be elemental based. That was one of the phases the game went through. Is the cards were all the elements, but we don't have that anymore. So I just need to see how we're going to make this work. Or I'll just get rid of that part where blobs only split unless they were killed by fire. Damage. Yeah, so we do have the idea of burning. So fireball. Do we have anything else that causes burn damage besides fireballs? I guess we don't. So none of the other classes have any burn, fiery things. So what we want to see is if any of the cards that were used in the combo had fire in them. This isn't right either. We can't look at the cards. We have to look at what killed the monster. I think we remember that, but I'm not sure. Right, so there is a cause of death where we remember what killed a particular creature. Just gotta make sure where it's. Trying to remember where this is set. Yeah. What was it? Was it damage type? Or the damage descriptor? says I can probably use a link expression. That's a little better. Okay, so if I was killed by anything that contained fire, don't do anything. If I've already split, don't do anything. Again, this is similar to the meandering shrub. We don't want the blobs to get into an infinite cycle of respawning. So one thing we probably should do is make sure that this guy doesn't drop any loot when you kill him. Right, so there's a method that decides if it should drop loot or not. How should it work if the boss of the whole dungeon is a blob?
So it's splitting off
Right. So
presumably little boss monsters,
I guess.
or not?
Right. Does it? Because it doesn't do that now. So, like in any case, like if you kill a boss or mini boss blob, it should probably, the blobs that split should probably be identical to the main one, but I think they end up being half the level. So when you kill a boss blob, and you get 2 boss blobs that are half the level, but with all the same abilities.
And you gotta kill them all, or is it to finally, like, it's not gonna drop the quest?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, one of the spawned ones is going to have to drop the quest loot.
The last one. How will you know?
Yeah, this is hard. I guess I'll get the regular working and then I'll get the other thing working. All right, now I need to figure out how we're going to do the boss stuff, which is, as it turns out, more complicated. Because I need to control when this message here gets sent when the boss is killed. And we only want to do this if you've killed the last blob. It's a pickle. Alright, so I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have a way for the subclasses of monster to choose whether or not to broadcast this message. Oops. Darn it. Keep hitting the wrong keys. Sorry that my screen keeps going crazy. I need to figure out how to get a list of monsters that are still alive. Somehow in Monster Manager, I'm sure there's a way to do that. So let's see. There is not currently a way to get a list of all the monsters that are alive. So, how do I do that? So what I'll do is I'm going to add a method on our monster manager to get a list of monsters of a particular type. Can't remember what this guy is. He's a dictionary of monsters to monster scripts. So goodness. Okay, that's much easier to read if I do it as LINQ. I haven't really done a ton of stuff with LINQ, so I'm still learning it. So this is actually a good way for me to help do this. I'm a little worried on all the LINQ stuff. If we ever try to port this to iOS, I think there's some trouble with LINQ and iOS, but maybe that's fixed with Unity 5. I know I've done some LINQ stuff with iOS, but I'm not sure if it all works. So let me go back to this guy and say,
How do I get rid of this?
I don't even know what that is.
I can't type anything. It looks like it wants to, do dictation or something. But
huh, yeah, I don't have that on mine. Your phone's busted.
yeah.
Whoa, it's a super close-up of my chin. Sorry, everyone. Make sure that's right. So if I'm a bloblet, then yeah, do all that stuff. That's good. So now if I'm a regular bloblet, I have a chance of dropping loot. And I guess the fact that both blobs that are killed could both drop loot, that's probably fine. Don't you think? If I kill a blob and it splits, both of the mini bobs could give loot. Is that worth really trying to figure out?
That's fine. It's just the whole quest item thing.
Yeah, no, I've got that figured out, I think. All right. Oops. All right. Trying to see all the things we do to set up mini bosses. Basically, mini bosses in the game have a bunch of have some extra abilities. So I need to make sure that when you kill a mini boss, that the two that spawn as a result of it are the same, have the same abilities. So I'm just trying to remember how all that works. Right, so I just need to call this method activate as mini boss. See how that looks. So that sets mini boss, name, ups the attack multipliers, reinitializes the stats. Alright, so that looks good. So now I need to make sure that I can test this. Mini bosses, so what I need to do, we've got a, I think you've seen it. There's a, like a Quake style console where we can issue commands in the game. So I'm going to undo all that stuff I just did. There we go. This is what I was looking for. I undid the code formatting on that other guy because that's actually, this Unity 3D console is a GitHub fork of an existing project. So I did not want to change the code style on this because it's not my project, and I want to be able to pull down any changes to that GitHub repository that might be made by the guy that's maintaining it. So what I want to do is I want to add a command. Right, I can already spawn him as a mini boss, so I don't need to add anything. Perfect. So let's go make a blob mini boss and kill him. That did not work. Okay, so why did that not work? It says, oh, because I typed it wrong. It has to be mini boss, all lowercase. Probably should have given an error message on that, but since we're the only ones that are ever going to use these commands, it's probably not worth making them super robust. So there's a mini boss. Art Belch. That's funny. That did not work. Okay, so why did that not work? Probably need to set a breakpoint in here and figure it out. Right, there's the problem right there. I said if the child is a mini boss, then set up the child as a mini boss, but of course he hasn't been set up yet, so of course he's not a mini boss, so that will probably fix it. I'm going to give him... So this guy sets up a mini boss with no abilities, with no extra abilities. I'm going to give him a couple of extra abilities just to make sure that those abilities get copied down to the child, which I know they're not going to actually because I never did that. So that's the other thing we need to do is child.abilities, remove all. I think, if I remember correctly, the abilities take the monster itself as one of the constructor parameters for the ability. So I can't just add the abilities directly from the parent blob to the child blob. So I'm going to have to do something a little smarter. Oops, I don't want a for loop. So what I need to do is I need to basically get the type of the ability and then do a dynamic invocation to dynamically create the instance of the ability so I can pass in the child in the constructor rather than the parent monster. So something like that is what I want. Alright, and this, I'm actually going to want to do both for bosses and mini bosses, so I'm going to extract that out to a method. Okay, so now I should be able to test it, and I should get 2 mini bosses with the same name as the main boss with the same abilities. So let's see if that works. That's the guy I spawned earlier. He just died from poison. So, spawn blob 1 mini boss. His name is Azeshlashvili. It's a terrible name. We need to fix our name generator. He's an exploding, enfeebling blob mini boss. Should fix that. Whoopsie. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm trying to remember how to do that in Windows when I don't have a print screen button on my keyboard. Okay, leave that for later. And that worked. They now have the same abilities. He's an exploding, enfeebling blob. So that all works now. So now the last thing I need to do is make sure, I need to implement the boss functionality and make sure that that works as well. This guy's kind of annoying. Okay, so that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and commit that. Everyone's being quiet today. I don't know, for whatever reason, everyone always starts off the day never chatting, and then by the end of the day, there's like a bunch of chatting going on. So maybe only the people that like chatting show up later in the day. So basically I want to do almost the exact same thing, except this. So I'll probably do this a little better. It's a little less code duplication. So if he's a mini boss or a boss, give him the same name, clear the abilities, give him the same thing, and then if he's a mini boss, activate his mini boss. As a boss, activate his boss. So that's totally cool. So now I should be able to spawn that dude as a boss. And hopefully everything will win. Yeah, that's a good point. And there's a bunch of it, most of the people that are watching are anonymous. So how are you doing today?
Pretty clean.
Color's still a little bit.
Oh, my facial color?
Very red.
We're talking about the quality of our video now.
Oh,
You either wear like a green shirt next time.
A green what?
A green shirt?
So just my floating head? That's funny. Okay. A level 1 blob boss. So if everything works, when I kill him, he should not drop the quest treasure. Oh no, I don't want him burning. Oh. Okay, that's bad. Okay, so that's a bug. If he's burning, he won't split. But he has to drop the quest treasure.
if he dies
Yeah.
from burning, he doesn't drop the quest treasure?
Well, because that's the way I coded it. So I'll need to fix that. I don't want to teleport this guy. Oh, I know I can discard these teleport cards.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
It's funny that for whatever reason the name algorithm sometimes chooses the name summoned as the name of bosses.
Oh.
I think it's just like that
think-
word is
right.
in that list of
Because there's like names like the summon whatever.
Yeah. Oh. I don't want to die. I'll cheat.
That's something fun I can do.
Oh no, I'm about to die again. Level 1 dungeon bosses are hard. There's a lot of hit points. Okay, so I should kill this guy and nothing should happen. I'm almost through the deck, that's why I can't do anything. I don't want to light him on fire because I know there's a bug where he will die. Not that he'll die, but that I won't get the quest treasure. Which I need to fix. Oh! Fail. Okay, so clearly that didn't work. So I need to figure out why that did not work.
Weird noises down.
Right. Totally did it wrong. I'm relying on the name of Bloblet, but they're not Bloblets if they're bosses.
They have a name.
They have a name now, so I can't do that. But I can rely on the should split property because only children are should split false, and parents are should split true. So instead of that, I can say if should split, if I shouldn't split, Bloblets shouldn't split. So if we're not shouldn't split, means I should split, which means I'm the boss. Okay, yeah, that's right. Let's try that again, see if that fixes it. I may just start a new dungeon because I'm out of discard runes. Oh, that's why it took so long to come. I forgot blobs also regenerate. Man, this is... Oh, that's awesome. He was a pouncing guy, so I teleported him back, and then he just whoosh, attacked me from range.
Are we still getting the bonus skulls per dungeon?
The what?
Bonus skulls per dungeon? Yeah, so I think it's a final or whatever.
Sure. You have to find a way to show those. I guess show them on the loading screen, or show them like when the dungeon is first, like when you first go in the dungeon, show like one or more bonus goals, or just one bonus goal. What do you think?
We do have room on the side there for like kind of where you got the rescue stuff. And we kind of
Oh no, I died. Stupid bosses. Alright, well this is getting annoying. I'm just gonna make myself super powerful. We also have a super cheat mode where we can buff the hero. So that's what I'm going to do. Probably show it like on the... I guess you need some way to see what your bonus goals are in case you forget. Show it like on the pause screen, like the escape screen. There's really not much there except save and exit and stuff.
yeah, and there's enough room above the seed.
Yeah, I mean, and we can definitely make that screen bigger too. Like make it wider, taller. Still didn't work. Alright, time to bust out the debugger and find out what's going on. So this is the code I need to get into. Okay, so Alright, so that's wrong, clearly. So that was the problem. My conditional there is just totally wrong.
So does bonus gold get generated with the mission, or does it get generated when the dungeon starts and then persisted? Because it should persist.
Yeah, I think
But
with the
should it-
dungeon,
Always be the same bonus goal.
yeah, it should be different. Every time you play through the mission, it could just,
Right? So if you fail it, you'll get a new bonus goal for the same mission.
so it probably shouldn't use the seed of the, it should just use its own random seed generator to pick one or more. I mean, maybe just one bonus goal, but we'll see.
That should happen when the dungeon gets generated.
I don't know. Something is busted. $36. Oh, that's totally a bug. No, it's not a bug. I don't know what's going on. Something's messed up with my save game file. Yeah, it's definitely some bug there. Sorry. Who knows? Alright, I'm going to make a note of that and come back to it. I'll just leave this up. This will remind me, hopefully. Okay. None of which is what we were trying to fix. So let's get back to that. go. And I won. All right. I think the only case I need to handle now is the case of the blob dying if it was killed by fire, which is right here. So this will only get invoked if I was killed. And this will get invoked if I was killed by fire. So we basically need to fire this event here to make sure that the quest treasure gets dropped by the parent, because they won't split in this case. So let's give that a quick try. Should be pretty easy to test. There we go. And I won again. Hooray! I'm really good at this game. Okay. So that looks like the blob is all done now. Alright, so that, now we can call the blob done. We got 2 new monsters in so far today, that's good. Good progress. Let's take a look at that bug that we ran across. See if we can figure out how that happened. Let me close a bunch of this junk that we're not going to use anymore. Oh, you know what? I need to fix. I just committed super strong characters. That'll only happen if you're running in the unit in the editor. So, still, it's probably not good to test with super strong characters all the time. Okay. So it was the summon monster ability. So I need to basically have some special handling. It's a little annoying, but I will do it. So this will only happen in the case of the blob. So basically need some special handling right here that says if it's a one of these else stuff. Oopsie. Man, I can't even code anything. All right. So now I need to.
Is the snake throw considered a particle thing?
Is what?
Is snake throw considered a particle? Okay.
I'm just doing it with regular animation. So I'm basically gonna it'll go through the air.
Well,
But-
I'm just thinking about the bonding.
The what?
If I needed like a 1x and 2x.
Yes. You will need a 1x and 2x.
Yeah. I got them side by side, and I kept on like trying to move my mouse over.
That's funny. So I think I'm going to do this a different way. I think I'm going to make a copy constructor. Rather than, otherwise I'll have to make a bunch of stuff public, and I just don't want to do any of that stuff, so
Does it pick up the sound from the TV?
it might be. I don't know. It'll mute our entire broadcast.
I know. Yeah, it is.
Make sure this is right. So this will get the monster. From the other ability, it'll copy the type, the level. Yeah, I've got the number of summons and the max concurrent summons. So then in this guy, I can't hear anything anymore.
Probably should have been listening to it before. I think I can hear the fan for
No?
sounds like a lot of wind noise.
I don't know. Maybe it's just you. Your headphones are crazy. Alright, that's what I want.
Don't hear the aquarium though, which is weird.
Alright, so that should fix that. So what I need to do is I need to test it, and I need to make sure that it gets the summon monster ability. So what I'll do is I will comment out every other ability besides 2. So now the monster should get Pounce and Summon. And then I can make sure that that works. Can you read that? So apparently it's not too bad. I guess as long as I talk,
And distracted.
it cuts out the wind noise. Oh, I forgot to make myself super strong. Alright, pouncing, summoning mini boss. So hopefully when I reload this guy, it works. Oh, that's evil. Summoning. Oh, that's busted too. Dang it. Summons 2 level 1 blobs. Okay, so that looked like it worked. I just keep finding bugs. Every time I play, I find another bug. Makes me sad. Okay, so I fixed that bug, so I can mark that one. Should the saplings work the same way? They probably shouldn't, right? The saplings should just be regular monsters. Like if you're attacking a boss tree and you make a sapling, it shouldn't make another boss.
That should just be little.
Right, this one, because this one's splitting in 2.
Right. But sapling is like a child.
Right, okay. But I don't want to commit this yet because I commented out a bunch of crap. Now I want to commit it. I'm going to go ahead and reformat this class while I'm in here. I don't know why that doesn't work sometimes. Did that work? No, it is just not working. Right, because it's probably doing it because I had some stuff selected. Alright, I'm just going to leave that the way it is. Okay, so the bug I happened to see while we were doing this also was related to blobs. So it looks like the monsters have a size. So bloblets, the mini blobs that spawn, are smaller than the regular blobs. And it looks like either that's not getting properly persisted, or when it's being loaded, it's not properly handling it. It looks like it's not being persisted. Right, which it probably doesn't need to be persisted. I could probably fix it in here. And the trees probably have the same problem, the meandering shrubs, I mean. So probably the same thing. I can fix that by calling set size. This apply custom properties is called by our persistence mechanism. Basically, it loads up the game and passes in this dictionary of persistent properties that this guy then can assign to variables. So we basically built our own custom persistence mechanism for the game. So this guy will say, what level am I now based on my max level? Should make sure all this works. It looks like it'll work. Okay, so let me go spawn a sapling and make sure that this actually persists everything properly. And then a blob also. I just got lucky and didn't spawn any that time. Oh, that's unfortunate. There we go. So that one, I know when he comes back, he's going to be... Yeah, because he's already level 1. And the logic that was there for setting the size did it based on his current level. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spawn a higher level guy. take me longer to kill him, and hopefully give me more chance to.
Kind of looked like you were looking at your mouse for a second.
I was looking where?
Like you were looking at your mouse for a second.
Oh. Okay, so I come back. He should still be level 1. And he should still be small. That's what I'm trying to fix here. So there he grew. So he should still be small. I saw another bug too. Darn it! Alright, so the bug that I saw, oh no, totally should have. Update level color. So that should have worked. Why did that not work? What should have happened when the monster changed size, and maybe I just died so it didn't get a chance to do it. The color should have updated. You know what? Yeah, this isn't gonna do it because they're both green. Alright, let me start over. So there he's green. Now he's still green. So that didn't work. Why did that not work? The fun of game development, spend all your time fixing stupid little bugs like this. So it's probably something to do with the tweener. 'Cause it already had a tweener created. That's what it is. So it did update the color, but the thing that was blinking, there's a tweener that basically makes the color blink. It had already cached the old color, so it probably just changed it right back. This is probably a bug too. We're probably leaving. We're probably leaving that other tweener out there abandoned. No, I'm not sure. I'll do that defensively. Alright, so the problem that we had there, it worked, it changed the color, but it didn't know, what it should do is if the tween was playing beforehand, it should be playing afterwards. So when it recreates the tween, it needs to remember if it was playing before. I don't know how to do that. So I probably just need to call this monster aggro again after we... but then that might play the animation again. Everything's so complicated. Okay, so it'll only play that aggro animation once, so we should be good. So we play maybe show aggro. This'll do it. Once again, developer overconfidence. Poor guy keeps dying over and over and over. And I did it wrong. Need him to be a level 3 guy, not a level 1 guy. Though. Yeah, now they're both blinking appropriately, no error messages. Everything is good. Why isn't my really low on death sound playing? Really low on health. I don't know, really low on death doesn't make any sense, does it?
What's the difference between save dungeon and persistent dungeon?
Persistent dungeon is the actual JSON thing that's JSONified. Save dungeon is a hydrated dungeon that hasn't been yet loaded. Does that make sense? So basically the dungeon persistence manager creates a save dungeon and sets it on the app state.
Mm-hmm.
And then the loading manager takes the save dungeon and makes it a real dungeon in the game engine. I'm trying to see if there's a... It looks like it's playing. The volume just really low. It is. Okay. Never mind, false alarm. So that's good. I just turned the sound effects volume really low earlier, I guess. Oops, I already did that. Okay. So I think that's really it now for our blob and shrub. I think we got all the bugs killed for those guys. All right. What's next? All right, we can work on the, I saw Ray, our artist.
Let me know if that's making too bad. I think it is.
Okay. I will look at it right now. So I think we've got everything we need now to finish up our rogue snake card. Oh yeah, that's a bug I need to fix too. What folders you put the snakes in, Ray?
Special under the
Dungeon.
dungeon.
Got it.
Where that animated clamp is.
Yep. Oh, that's funny. I just copied stuff onto itself. Undo. Okay, so let's get this. We're using Toolkit 2D, which I think we've talked about in the past, but if you're just now joining us, you didn't know that. So I need to get those assets that Ray created into Toolkit 2D. Six frames of animation, is that right, Ray?
Yeah, but you can repeat the first two if you want for a couple of times. Cause they're just wiggling, and then it compresses.
All right, we're waiting for Toolkit 2D to do its stuff. You can only tell that because this button is depressed. It's very sad. So it's rebuilding our sprite sheets. And it'll be done here in a second. Any second now. Okay, there we go. So now let's actually add the animation. And so we may want two different animations here. So one, while it's going through the air, so just be the first 2 frames. Super fast like that, because that makes a lot of sense. Okay. That looks alright. Another when the snake hits, which I'll not remove, it'll play once. So this will play while it's flying through the air. And this will play when it hits. Alright, let's commit those. Let's go look at our snake. Alright, so we have a similar animation for the trap, where the trap flies through the air. Alright, so we basically want to do what this guy does. It's a very similar animation. We want to do almost all the same things that this guy does, so I'm going to just copy him over, and then just change the things that need to change. need to figure out is how to tell. How to tell it which clip to play. Sorry if I'm just trying to remember how this stuff works. It's been a while since I've done one of these animations, so I'm doing a little bit of re-educating myself. Animated dungeon sprites, right? So we've got a prefab in Unity. Called Animated Dungeon Sprite.